welcome back. And we have Goody featuring on the new wine wall today.
It's not new.
Well, newish. It was new when I saw it. But do you have ours up there?
Do I?
It didn't make the wall. God.
I feel like we. Yeah,
What's your favorite?
it's right. Hold on one second.
I was like, it's gonna be just look hilarious if you just pull that down. Yeah, there we go. I'm absolutely honored. I just can't wait till Vincent's tall enough to where you can just walk around and just rip those off.
Dude, he's not far off. Like he can get pretty close to the
Gonna be
bottom
a-
row, obviously, not the top. He'll get there
Yeah.
eventually. He'll be a tall drink of water.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, last episode you had the great idea of switching up how we do this just for a couple weeks to keep it fresh. You interviewed me, and this week I'm throwing it back at you, and I wrote down some questions. And my theme of these questions were I tried to keep them really short. Most of them are under like 5 words, the questions.
Okay.
And so I want to leave it like pretty open for you. So, and once again, listeners, we've not showed these to each other beforehand, so it's right off the cuff.
I know. I feel like I'm already getting nervous, especially with now that you're prefacing it with a 5-word question.
Yeah, they're really like, yeah. I just want to see how this will go. So let's jump right into it. 4 letters. I mean, 4 words on the first question.
Oh, dang.
Who is Nick Gutierrez?
Dude, that's a great question. I'm just a hardworking man that's just trying to make a living to provide for my family at the end of the day. But what I'll do is I'll give some cliff notes on the last, I guess we'll just go from college because I feel like that, I mean, I'm 28, I'll be 29 in December. So college doesn't seem that far away, although it's like kind of was. But born and raised in Puyallup, Washington, went to Washington State University and got a business major in marketing and then a minor in communication just because I like talking in front of people and knew that I wanted to get into some kind of role where I was going to be in front of people talking and then just building relationships face to face is what I like doing. Unfortunately, now it's more like Zoom than it is. But in our business, you still meet for coffee. So I think my junior year was when I was really like, not that I don't like Washington, nor would I like not want to live there, but being born and raised there and never experienced anything else, I was like, I want to go somewhere after I graduate college. So I chose Arizona, met my now wife, Bree, my junior year, and then I schemed my way into getting her to move to Arizona with me. And she had no idea, like she didn't understand like the plan that I had, which wasn't a plan. There was no plan. So I kind of like, pulled the wool over her eyes, just slowly got her to commit to going. And then we moved here. I did a couple jobs in sales, knowing that I wanted to get in the mortgage business, but I just needed some experience being in front of people. I didn't really have a big boy job. I didn't do any internships. I worked at Goodwill, in the donation department as my first job in high school. I worked for BJ's as a busboy and then a little bit as a server. Man, I did some odd jobs. I did landscaping for City of Tacoma. So I did like all these odd jobs. So I never really had like a sit down sales desk job. So I did that, got in the mortgage business, and now I've been in the mortgage business it'll be 5 years in July. So I started July of 2019. It'll be 6 years. It'll be 6 years next July. So doing it for a while. Who am I? I'm just a dude that's trying to get by. I'd say we're all, I feel like the older I get, the more I realize we're all just trying to do the same thing, which is, create a family, stay happy, bring in some income and enjoy some experiences. And, maybe sip a 0-calorie Fresco when you can on a Thursday afternoon.
You did not need to flex on us like that, but no, I love it. And dude, yeah, like obviously we talk all the time, but didn't even realize some of the similarities that we both have too. Like I didn't have any internships or anything like that. No real big boy jobs until after college. Like I was flipping burgers at Lefties or like renting. I was like, how can I work the least through college and stuff and have as much fun as I can. Yeah. So that's kind of funny. And then, yeah, I love it.
I feel like it looked like when I first got out of college, I was like, wow, I'm stupid for not doing any internships and stuff. But looking back, I don't regret not doing an internship or like working in a bank one summer in between college. Cause I'm like, there were so many good experiences on the flip side that I would have probably missed out on. And we're here now, figured it out. So
No, 100%. And yeah, like really quickly before we go on to the next one, my siblings, like, because I got a bunch of younger siblings that are like either approaching that age or in that age now. And like my sisters, like both work like 2 jobs, and are constantly working, which is great. You don't want to say like, hey,
No, dude.
it's a great thing, but at the same time, I'm like, you're literally, if you're like the average person, are going to work for the next 40 plus years of your life. Like, you only get to be young once. Like, try and enjoy that too, because you're not going to regret. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, like, I'm so happy that I, worked those little bit of extra hours at the coffee shop. You're going to regret like, oh, the things that you missed out on instead of doing that.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I think we did good there. But leading from that question into this one, you said you kind of worked odd jobs, getting some experience because you knew you wanted to get into mortgage, which is exactly what I did too. I was like, I want to get into mortgage, but they're not going to hire me with no experience. So I just did something to get that, just like you, which I didn't realize either. But so you kind of knew that was the end goal. You were doing what you could to get there. Why mortgage? Like, why did you already have that set?
Dude, it's such a good question because I was just talking about this with another loan officer in my office, and like, I'll make it's not a long story, but like, so my mom's now, I call him my stepdad boyfriend. They're not married, but he was in the mortgage business for Bank of America for like 25 plus years. And my junior year of college, when, you start thinking about like, hey, what am I actually going to go apply for? He had actually approached me and was like, hey, like based off, I mean, I've been around you now for a couple of years, based off of like your personality, the way you talk to people, it feels like you can adapt pretty well to different personalities. I feel like you would kill it in the mortgage business. You can make a good living, and I see you like thriving in that space. Being in college, like I had no idea what a mortgage was, but he had told me that, and I held on to it so hard that like I legitimately would go like to meet Bree's parents or family members and be like, yeah, I'm going to be in the mortgage. And I didn't even know what a mortgage was. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to be a mortgage loan officer. So like I just took that and ran with it, and I didn't really give myself another option. And then the more I like asked questions and learned about it, the more I realized that it, as much as it is like, and we talk about it all the time, it's 100% commission. You're out looking for clients or working with past clients to help provide them a service. Stuck with me was the fact that people need homes, people need housing, and it's something that's going to be there consistently, just like insurance, just like the medical field, whether you're a doctor or you're in the pharmaceutical industry, things that are consistently never, I mean, there's going to be up and downs in anything, right? But the reality is everyone needs housing, and everyone wants, the American dream is to buy a home. So between that, which was like, I guess not security in the sense financially where it's like you don't always have a check coming in, but the security of like, hey, if you put the work in, the money will come as the longer you're in the business, matched up with like, just feeling like with my personality and then what I enjoyed doing, kind of those two together matched up well enough. It seemed like a perfect fit, and I was willing to. You and I are the same way. Again, like we talk about it all the time on the podcast, but we have the personality where it's like I want to have the opportunity to make as much money as connected with the work that I'm putting in, and this is an industry that you can do that in. So, kind of a long-winded answer, but that's so I got there. Yeah, it's funny, just not even knowing what a mortgage was, but still going around telling people like, "Yeah, I'm going to be a loan officer." And they're like, "Okay."
Oh, I love it. That's hilarious. I'm not looking down at my phone here. I studied and I wrote some questions for you here. So let's go. So from who's Goody? Why mortgage? Let's go to, now that you've been in the business for quite some time, 5+ years, how have you built your business?
Anything and everything. The thing that like totally like, I don't even know what the word would be, like just blew my mind when I like jumped into the mortgage business was the fact that there's not really a blueprint. I think a lot of people that become a real estate agent or a loan officer think they see someone that's like a high producer and they're like, oh, I just need to do what they're doing. And the reality is everyone has steps or things that work and can share those with you, but there's not a manual that says, it's not like a job where you clock in and say like, hey, do this 8 hours a day and then you'll make money. Like you just kind of have to work with what works best for your personality and then the kind of clients that you want to attract. So I guess how I've scaled my business, I was lucky enough to work a job where I was getting fed leads for 3 years of current homeowners. So I was able to build up a decent book of business doing that. And then not being from Arizona, moving from Washington State, I didn't have a huge network of people that I just knew that were buy a home. So as much as it sucked, I think in the long run, it's helped me a ton because it's made me step out of my comfort zone. And I go and meet with people that they have no idea who I am. I have no idea who they are. And you sit down for an hour and you get to know them, figure out if it's someone that I want to do business with, and then create value, which is providing them with resources or showing them, which is number one, the best thing you can do is action, right? Like answering your phone, providing them quality service.
The pest control people came. Nick had to jump away for a second, but basically to wrap that question up, you kind of have tried a little bit of everything. When you start in this business, they basically give you a desk and say, congratulations, you have a job now. Go figure it out. You don't have, there's no blueprint. You get to do whatever you want. And it sounds like why you got into the business is you like talking to people, you like, meeting people. And so that's kind of what you do. You meet people and then you follow up on your promises and build trust that way.
Yeah. And like there's days where you're like, I wish I could just do busy work because I don't want to get in my car and drive 30 minutes to go meet with somebody that I have no idea who they are. And then, there's all the time you meet with agents or a homeowner's insurance agent or any referral partner, and they might not even be a good fit. So you just wasted an hour and like, I'm never going to do business with you again, but it's just part of the job.
Yeah. It's part of the game. And that totally happens too. Someone could be on paper a really good, partner and they do a ton of business, but you just don't jive with each other. And so it's not someone that you want to work with. So cool. No, that all makes sense. Good answer. So during all this process, you wanted to get into mortgage, now we're here. It's been some time. What have you learned about yourself in the last, 5 years?
And I'm trying to think, I feel like there's like, I could give you like 5 to 10 different responses on, because I would say in the first like 2 to 3 years, it would just be setting the right expectation for myself. I think like going in without having any idea as far as what I was going to be doing, I had this like different expectation of what my day to day would be. Like I thought it was going to be like, oh, I'm just going to go meet somebody for coffee and they're going to love me and they're going to just start sending me all their business and I'm just going to be sitting in front of my computer and answering calls. And the reality is it's just like not like that at all.
Yeah.
So setting the right expectation up front. And dude, remind me of the question because I want to make sure I'm not like going off on a tangent.
No, that totally makes sense. What have you learned about yourself?
Yeah. I would say what I've learned is that I have that it's hard for me to be successful in anything if I don't set up goals and expectations and consistent daily tasks to do, because if not, especially in a job where you don't have a leash, like I could wake up and go golf for the next 2 weeks if I wanted to. Wouldn't make any money, but I can do that. Is like having daily routines that I need to hit and goals that I need to hit and consistently remind myself to do that, or else you're just out in space and just hoping that your people are going to reach out and want to use you. And at the same time, you have to create value with the clients you already service and the ones that you're wanting to service in the future, or else you're just a number like everybody else. What's going to stop someone from working with me if they can go reach out to Johnny who does the same exact thing? So I think
Classic Johnny.
Shout out.
Classic Johnny.
So what I've learned is just one, for me specifically, I need to stick in a routine and have goals that I need to hit. And then 2 is like, I think the best advice I can give anybody that's in like a sales job is on your own is you have to be honest with yourself. Like you have to be able to sit down and look at your numbers and say like, did I do what I say I was going to do? And could I be doing more? Because if you can't be honest with yourself, then you're never going to get far at all. In my opinion.
That's a great one. That is so true.
I was just saying, like, with anybody that's in the mortgage business or any job where you're on your own, like I think people fall short when they try to lie to themselves and they're like, dude, it's just slow right now. And it's like, it's not slow. Like, let's look at the last 2 weeks and see what you've done. You've sat on your phone, you scrolled Instagram for 2 hours, you made 3 phone calls, you talked to a client that's under contract. Like you didn't really do that much. You did a bunch of stuff that was like busy work, and you're not doing what you need to be doing. You're not doing activities that are going to produce more results. So
yeah, and even if it's true, it's like the market is slow. Well, it's like, okay, then go do double the amount that you were doing when it was normal, or that you can always be doing more. And kind of like we talked about in the last episode too. It's just account it like just 100% ownership, and like you really do control the outcome. It's just how much, I guess, do you want it, and what are you willing to put in?
Yeah, I always go back to the fact that there's somebody else that's the same age as me in another state or another city that's producing triple the amount that I am, and
Yeah,
he's not saying, "Oh, the market's slow." So
yeah,
and maybe he was doing what I'm doing now 3 or 4 months ago, and that's why he's successful. But you constantly have to. Unfortunately, you don't see results immediately in this job, so you just kind of have to
no.
go in and do it every day, and then it happens over time.
Yeah. It's usually about a 3 to 4 month lifeline. So if we're grinding this month, in 3 to 4 months, we'll see the results. And same as if you're slacking for a month, you're going to
Yeah.
see it
Oh,
about a
you
quarter.
feel it. You feel it quick. That's why you
Yeah,
see a lot of people in mortgage that their numbers look like this because it's just.
yeah, the constant cycle. Yeah. Okay. So I think those are all good.
I hope so.
We've talked about you. We've talked about why mortgage. We've talked about, how you kind of built your business, what you learned about yourself in that process, and now like a little bit more fun. So you can take this as business or in life, and I think it'd be good to do a little bit of both. What is the end goal for you?
The end goal is just to be able to do things that I enjoy doing without having to worry about checking my bank account. I think if you asked me that question, like even like 2 years ago or a year ago, I'd have been like, oh, I need to be making X amount of money. I want to be in a $3 million house. I want to have X, Y, and Z. As much as I don't get me wrong, I like material things and I like spending my money on. I'm a big shoe guy, so I like buying new shoes. I enjoy playing golf and I like playing nice golf courses. So all that's super fun. But the older I get, and maybe it's just because I'm like such an old soul, but the reality is like I don't think I need really much. I think like sometimes I catch myself thinking I want something and it's not that I want it. It's more like seeing it on social media or being around or hearing like, oh, you need this and that. And I just want to be able to live comfortably, provide for my family and pay for my kids to go to school. And if they want new shoes for football or they want to sign up for a class to go learn about how to be a better shooter in basketball, I'm spitballing, but I just want to be able to do all that stuff and be able to provide without having to go look at my bank account or figure out ways to
Yeah.
provide money for them to do that. So that's like, I'm really happy where I'm at living wise and like have a good house. We're in a good area, have good friends, good family. So like on that note, I'm already halfway there. Now it's just continuing to grow.
Yeah, I like that answer. Okay, so we've talked about all these things. You just went over kind of your end goal and what that looks like a little bit. So to pry a little deeper, how do you plan on getting?
Long term, I think it's all about scaling. And that sounds like so like corporate jargon, like businessy, but eventually I'm in the middle and still trying to grow out a team of my own because as much as I love producing and I love working with first time home buyers, anyone that's trying to buy a house, I still want to do that moving forward. But I enjoy taking somebody through the process that I went through of like howing to grow a business, howing to create relationships and then get referrals from those clients that you're meeting with. So that would be like long term is doing that. And then being able to automate my business to where if people need me or I'm taking a new application or Kyle, you want to use me to purchase a home, you're going to call me directly. And it's a super easy conversation and dealing with clients that I think in any business, like everybody wants to deal with their ideal client. And in the beginning, you don't really have the opportunity to pick and choose who you work with because you got to pay the bills, right? So long term, it's just like continuing to grow. And then we talked about this in your interview is like, you need to reassess every month, every year, what you're already doing so that you're not doing the same thing and over again. So that in 10 years, I'm still in the same spot.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great answer.
Would you agree?
I would. Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of the same for me. I don't know if I'm as focused on building a team necessarily, but building a business that, and who knows, that could totally change. But as you know, and I haven't really like posted or told many people about, I'm working on some stuff right now too that'll come out later, but not necessarily building a team, which I think that's such a good way to do it. But for me, I think it's a lot more like outside of work too. Like I plan just through investing in real estate and kind of scaling and getting creative and doubling down on that, which I know you're kind of interested in doing some similar stuff as well. So Yeah, love it. All great answers. And then um, we're at about time. I guess I'll end on this one just because it's kind of fun. Describe your perfect day. You don't need to take into like, work and all that stuff, throw it out the window. Like let's say that this is Goody at the time where we said like your end goal. You're already at your end goal. You've made it. You're where you want to be. What is now that you've made that and all the hard work's paid off? Like, what does your perfect day look like?
Okay, it's gonna sound super boring, but this is what I'd want to do, which is wake up, go get coffee, my family. Actually, no, let me take that back. Get up, go work out, which is like, again, sounds boring, but I just enjoy working out right as I wake up. So get up on my own time, go hit a quick workout, pick up some coffee on the way home, have breakfast with my family, play a little golf in the afternoon, go get maybe a little steak dinner somewhere. I like going out to eat, so I'd probably be going to get dinner somewhere. And then coming back, spending more time with my family, maybe have some friends in the mix, go golf with some buddies. But that would be it, dude. Like I'm every time somebody calls me for work or like someone I haven't talked to in a couple of weeks, like, dude, tell me like what's new, like what's going on, how have you been? And I'm like, I'm the worst person to ask because I legit live such a like robotic life, which is like wake up, work out, work, spend time with family, eat dinner, clean up around the house. Like I'm a dad now. I guess it's just what happens when you have a kid, but I enjoy it. It makes me happy, so that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I like it, and it like puts things into perspective a lot too. Because like you said, maybe a few years ago, you'd be like, you need the $3 million house, you need the nice car, and all this stuff, which is great. There's no shame in all that, but to live your ideal day, I mean, you could basically do that right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that far away, which I think is the cool part about that question because it helps you realize like, oh, sure, I'm not that far away from kind of living my ideal life, but we just got to grind a little bit more to where the rest of the stuff can be on autopilot. You don't have to worry about finances and stuff at all. But yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I feel like I used to want like a lot of stuff like you do. And now it's just like, I literally just want time freedom is all I
Yeah.
want. I want to just be able to wake up and do what I want to do. And that doesn't really cost a lot. It's not like I want to go do all this crazy stuff. I just want to be able to travel. I want to be able to hang out with my family and do the things that I like doing.
Yeah. I mean, it helps too that you live in Hawaii. So you walk outside of the beach and go jump in the ocean, which is a
Yeah.
nice added bonus too. But yeah, it's like I don't need a whole lot to be happy. And I think what's funny is even with people that are in sales that are now retired, they find themselves getting back into work because they just enjoy doing it. It's like
Yeah.
we enjoy what we do. So it doesn't where I'm not dying to get off work to go do something else.
Yeah. No, 100%. Well, cool, man. That's kind of what I had for you, and I think it's perfect timing. We're up on like a half hour, which is about how long the last one was too. So we'll put these out the next couple of weeks, and yeah, get back to maybe a draft on the next episode or something.
Draft for the next episode. We'll have to get some ideas on what we want to do. But yeah, hopefully I wasn't too boring. I hope I was able to give you some good answers, and I feel like you showed me up with the question. So maybe maybe in a year we'll do this all over again and see if our answers have changed.
I think that'd be fun. I was going to say that, like, especially with like what the end goal looks like, because that's always going to be changing. I think that'd be cool. But no, both. I think both of them are great. It'll be cool for people to get to look a little bit deeper than the normal stuff we talk about, and a little bit into who we are, and a little bit of glazing here too. But yeah, just shout out to you, kind of like you said on the last one is yeah, dude, we've just been homies since elementary school. You're the absolute boy, and it's cool getting to do this once a week, staying in touch. And yeah, dude, you're a stud. You make me keep pushing, and it's good to have friends that have a lot of the same interests and goals, and we can keep each other accountable. So appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it.